Hi there. I'm Wendy Stone, your host and reader for Storytime. Tonight we'll be continuing Dog Upon Atlas into Chapter 5. I hope you've been well. Mr. Tawnyside? The female behind Beefcake asked. Mr. Deacon Tawnyside? Yeah, that's me. Who's asking? Sophia Bricktail, she said. Maybe come in? Huh, I thought. That's different. A clan member asking for entry. Mr. Tawnyside? She asked after an odd pause. Oh, yeah. Come on in. I shooed them into the small reception area before one of my neighbors smelled them and started firing rumors. Let's go into my office. More room in there. Beefcake grunted, staying a step behind the clan member, Sophia. And boy, was she a bricktail. Thick, bushy, ginger-colored tail, tiny nose and misaligned lower jawbone with a big fat gap in the lips, and bowed legs like she was carrying a sack of cement on her hips. The human female stayed to her right, her hand clutching her dog's shoulder, like she'd blow away if she didn't hold her down. Sophia sat on the client pad, her human on the floor next to her. Beefcake took up the 6 o'clock position behind the clan member, staring ahead at nothing. I noticed Africa shooting dagger eyes at the clan member. I grinned awkwardly at the 3 newcomers, then crossed the room to whisper in Africa's pert and quivering ears. Sweetie? What does she want, Pops? How should I know? She just got here. Look at that, the way she treats that human. Poor thing's freezing. She's not wearing enough clothes. She doesn't have a second coat like us. She doesn't even have a first coat. The longer she talked, the louder she talked. I treat my humans well, Miss Quitgate, Sophia said over her shoulder. Mittens is a happy human. I wanted to laugh again. Mittens? I wanted to cry. She knew my daughter's last name. She knew she was my daughter. Not good. Africa's eyes burned. I started babbling and shoving with my hindquarters at my daughter. Ha, she don't mean nothing, Miss Bricktail. She's a tad overzealous with her work. Runs a veteran and wobble care clinic. Speaking of, shouldn't you be, getting to work? Africa went to her hinds and adopted the stance of Beefcake. I'm not going anywhere. My fur fluffed like feeling the first moments of a storm on the horizon. How wonderful, I said, then crossed back to my desk, my rump barely hitting the pad as I asked, What brings you to Tawnyside investigations? I'd like to talk to you about the murder you witnessed yesterday, Sophia said. What murder? Africa asked from behind her. Excuse me. Back to the door I went. Affy, I said, it's time for you to get to your real job. I appreciate you helping me out. You know I do. I shuffled her through the reception area to the front door, her head twisting off, trying to get another look at Sophia. You're going to call me later, Africa rounded on me. Yeah, I promise. You're going to tell me what happened yesterday, and stop calling me Affy. Yep, promise. Bye-bye. I shoved her into the hallway, shut the door, then locked it. Her shadow remained predator still, then finally moved down the ramp. You were saying? I asked Sophia. A young dog was slain near Central Park early yesterday evening, she said. Uh-huh. A Jomi Stronghawk? Uh-huh. What do you know about this, Mr. Tawnyside? I took a deep breath. I needed to stay calm, control my scent markers. I know she was murdered, not much else. Why are you asking about Jomi? A week ago, one of my employees went missing, a Dr. Tessa Fullwither. Dr. Tessa Fullwither, I repeated, not knowing why until my fur fluffed again. The shirt that Jomi had shoved at me, the letters embroidered at the lapel, TF, Tessa Fullwither. Find her, Jomi's dying words. Dr. Fullwither is the head of our genomic mapping department at Bricktail Pharmaceuticals, Sophia said. She also teaches at Ice Flat. She's a scientist, Mr. Tawnyside. She's committed to her work. She has a family, a husband, and 2 pups. Uh-huh, I said. Not the kind of dog to up and disappear. Exactly, she said. I've come to you because you have a reputation, Mr. Tawnyside. It's well known that you have the best nose in the 5 boroughs. I want you to find her for me. My pride swelled a little. And Dr. Fullwither isn't just a colleague, she's a friend. I need the best on this. My fear swelled next. To be honest, Miss Bricktail, I think you're barking up the wrong tree. That used to be true. But I got a whole pile of unsolved cases sitting right here on my desk. Besides, ain't the cops hitting this one? I'll pay you regardless of the outcome. Damn. Here sat a client that could and would pay well. Does she have any enemies? Any trouble at work? The dirty mongrels. Sophia laid the dirty phrase in the air. I'd picked up my coffee cup, my tongue full when she said it. Hot brown liquids melted down my neck into my cowl. Sorry about that. Not sure I heard you right. By your reaction, she said, I'd say you did. The dirty mongrels, that's who took Tessa. And how do you know this? This isn't public knowledge, Mr. Tawnyside, and we prefer to keep it that way. But we've had clan members disappearing. Almost every clan is suffering the same fate. Haven't you seen the graffiti all over town? Death to the bloodlines, I thought. Everybody had seen it. Every public space bore their signature. It was falling into place. Tessa Fullwither was likely another half-breed, and the mongrels had been taking half-breeds and full-breeds. Sophia hadn't mentioned my chasing down a mongrel the previous night, so I stuck to my vague answers. Just bored pups, right? That's what the police are saying. Another thing we try not to make public. The gang is real, Mr. Tawnyside. I caught one of them inside the grounds of Bricktail Manor, lavishing his hateful message across the stucco. And when I confronted him, he attacked me. I was lucky my detail was outside on the grounds. Wait a minute. What's this got to do with Jomi? When we questioned him, he named Jomi as one of his associates. The air in my office felt suddenly stifled. Though the windows were open and it was a beautiful fall day, soft winds blowing through the smell of ozone after the rains. I laughed softly, my temper bubbling. And this dog, this dirty mongrel, I spat, who tagged Jomi as one. Where is he? I'd like to talk to him, like today. I'm afraid that's out of the question, she said. He died trying to escape custody. Excuse me? There was an incident at the station. He was hit by a police vehicle when he ran. Uh-huh. The conversation was taking turns in every wrong direction. This dog, she said, with whom we discoursed, said that he and Jomi had taken Dr. Fullwither, that she was responsible for her disappearance, and that Jomi had taken a job at our company for the sole purpose of getting closer to Tessa to gain her trust. I'd forgotten. Jomi worked at a clan-owned facility. I shifted in my chair, the pad scratching at my backside like it was made from sandpaper after rubbing down hot peppers. Jomi being in that van, her dying words to help someone. It wasn't a stretch to imagine that Jomi didn't know that she herself was a half-breed, then kidnapping this half-breed and having second thoughts, then her gangmates making her pay with her life. But no, Jomi wasn't that kind of dog. Look, I said, I appreciate the job offer, but I think you're overestimating my role. At best, I'm a tertiary character. I'm sorry, she huffed. I know several dogs, colleagues that are more than qualified to... You knew her, Sophia interrupted. You cared for Jomi. That doesn't mean she wasn't led astray by these mongrels. My jaw clenched shut, my teeth clattering against each other. The Jomi I knew as a pup would never have done anything this clan member was accusing her of. She was a good dog, and this Bricktail was crapping on her precious memory. I've upset you, Sophia said. Nope, not at all. Beefcake growled. Mittens whimpered. The air in my office constricted further. I rifled through the top drawer of my desk, finding the card, which I threw at Sophia and muttered through a lame excuse. You know what? I'm too busy, to be perfectly honest. What with all these unsolved cases? The dog on that card, she's a terrific PI. I went to my hinds and opened my office door. You give her a call. She'll do right by you. Thanks for stopping by. What was I doing? Wasn't I looking for this Dr. Tessa Fullwither anyway? Why not get paid for it? I needed the credits, and turning down a clan member was just stupid. Sophia, head held high, left the office with her human shuffling after her. They paused outside the door. "She smelled of 6 points, didn't she, Mr. Tawnyside?" Sophia asked quietly. "This dog of whom we spoke said they operate out of 6 points. Scents don't lie." "I'm sorry for your loss," I said, knowing every marker I was tossing out said the exact opposite. What I wanted to do was propel her furry butt down the ramp with my back feet. But Beefcake wasn't fooled. He waited until his master and her pet turned the corner into the hallway, then marked my door, his back feet furiously kicking bits of urine and dust into my face. I fumed, stood there and fumed. The old deacon would have tackled Beefcake where he stood, but my mind raced. When I thought about it, how stupid that Jomi would go through all that trouble, getting a job at Bricktail just to kidnap another dog. Why not do it on the street with fewer witnesses? Urgh! I growled aloud that I was even having that thought. I rushed back inside and grabbed my scent ledger, scribbling the next entry. Sophia Bricktail, neroli and sweet orange, expensive and rare. I then went to the bathroom sink and cleaned myself of Beefcake's territorial comment. Then off the floors, the door, and the hallway walls. Nice aim, jerk-off. No time to waste. I left my office in Queens and took the subway through mid-Queens, hopping onto the runner's belt. I didn't like running on an empty stomach, but my mind kept drifting to Jomi and Sophia's accusation. And Benson, and how heartbroken he'd be to hear someone say that, especially with his own pup laid out in the same hospital. And enter the Clannies. I hope you enjoyed that chapter, and I hope to see you in the next chapter. In the meantime, stay warm.